Thank you for tuning to the Sisters Talk podcast. I'm your host, Dannie M.
Hi, I'm your co-host, Aisya Carroll. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Brittany
And
Campbell.
today we have very special guest, Miss Brittany Campbell. She is a master trainer. She's in Fort Worth, Texas. So definitely give everybody a shout out. You're good on Sister Talk Podcast, girl. This is a conversation. Give yourself a shout out to your friends, your family. She's turned up, y'all.
Yeah, I'm my own crew. So my name is Brittany. I live in Killeen, Texas. I train out of Fort Worth a lot, but I live in Killeen, Texas. So I'm in the heart of Texas, here close to Fort Hood, nation's largest military base. I'm a trainer here. I've been competing as a professional I'm in my 8th competitive season as a professional, and I'm just really passionate about empowering women through teaching them the skills they need to live a healthy, confident life, to take care of their bodies. And that's what I've been doing for years, and I'm passionate about it. And I won't be stopping anytime soon.
I know that's right. And so for people who just tuned in tonight, it's Friday. It's been a long week for some of us, especially people in the state of Texas. I don't know if you guys know this, but people that live in Houston area know that we had temperatures as low as 15 degrees, if not lower. This week alone, a lot of people had a lot of power outages across the entire state. I was one of them. Still no running water right now. Had to get a hotel. So shout out to our leadership for making sure that the power grids were equipped for low temperatures. And I'll just leave it there. So now let's get back to you. I couldn't do this segment without putting that out in the atmosphere, because this has been the longest week of my life. And for people who need clothes, people who need blankets and shelters, go to my Facebook wall, Danielle Magoo. It's Meggoe. There's going to be churches in the Houston area that are going to be giving out water, supplies, and things like that. So check out that flyer. I shared it on my wall. Also, I have clothes for people who still need extra layers of clothing. It's a little bit warmer, so it's not as bad. But for those people who still don't have power, they don't have heat. So just wanted to put that out there. Just hop in my inbox, okay?
Awesome.
Now, Brittany, getting back to you, girl. So you're from Killeen. Which you say is...
I live in Killeen.
You live in Killeen. Okay, where are you from originally?
I'm from Georgia, and my mom would be upset if I didn't say that. I'm from Georgia, and I was an Army officer, and I got stationed at Fort Hood, and so I've been here since 2011.
Okay, how was Fort Hood? Because we've heard a lot of things about that area, not good things either.
I mean, you're only going to know what they report, but what I will tell you, the cost of living here is fair. We have an airport here. The military community is very tight knit. The fitness community is huge and thriving. And so, you got to dig deeper than what the news is going to report. We have incidents that happen here just like any other city. We are the largest military installation, so we have more soldiers here than most installations are used to. And so some of the issues we have, the number and the frequency, of course, is going to be higher than a smaller base. But I love this city. It's very resilient, and I love being around soldiers and helping soldiers. And so I decided to stay, and I've been here, 10 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what inspired you to get into fitness?
Yeah, so I've always been into physical stuff, sports, right? Even my decision to join the Army was I want something that's a physical challenge, mental challenge. I wanted to serve, I knew that, but the physical part of being in the Army is what I enjoyed the most. Once I got into my real job as an officer, it was the staff job, HR. That's when I was okay, it's almost time.
Yeah.
Start watching the clock, and so we have an Army physical fitness test, right? We have to take it at least twice a year, but I would max out on it. When you do that, you're not required to go to physical fitness training in the morning with the rest of the population. So I didn't have to go, but I found a gym because I still wanted to be active, and that's where I was introduced into bodybuilding and weightlifting, and I've been doing it ever since. That was
pretty impressive.
2013.
That's very impressive. Wow. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations to you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But it's
wow. Okay, so what kind of go ahead.
I mean, as far as being physical though in sports like that, that's just in me. My mother played basketball for the Army, so she is called the Army basketball team. So when she was in the Army for a period of time, her job was to go to practice and travel and play. Wow. My father's, all-star athlete. So I really was kind of trapped.
Natural, yeah.
How awesome is that?
But I embrace it.
We have so many questions to ask you. Like, I know one of the main questions that the audience is probably wondering is like, because women, when we see another female trainer, bodybuilder, we're like, okay, what kind of exercises do you recommend for a pear shape, for an oval shape? Like, are there different exercises for different body types?
So one thing, and if you're talking weightlifting and bodybuilding specific, the beauty of it is that your body becomes this canvas, right? And so when you go in the gym, that's when you're creating this masterpiece. And you create your workout program based on what you want, what your weaknesses are, what your strengths are, what you want more of, less of. And so you can actually go in and create. I mean, you're bound somewhat by genetics, right? But the rest of it, you can create this masterpiece that you want. And that's why, like, of all the sports I've ever been involved in, bodybuilding is the one I'm the most passionate about. Because every day I get to wake up and create the physique that I want. And it's pretty awesome. And then I get to help other people do the same thing.
That's awesome. Do you incorporate food with your exercise regimen?
Let me tell you, that's 99.99999% of it. And that's the point nobody wants to hear, right? So any client that I work with, their nutrition guidance is included with the cost of their training. The ones that are more disciplined, of course, see the fruits of that labor. But it's not, you can't have one without the other. They really go hand in hand. If I had to say one was more a more efficient route to what you want, it's the diet. The training is like supplementary after that.
Wow. Well, thank you for saying that, because that confirms. No, it just confirms things for me, because I'm not an exercise person, but I've been very, very paying attention to the way that I eat, what I consume. I'm not eating as much solid food as I used to. I'm eating more liquids and making sure that I'm getting protein in my body, drinking a lot of water, herbal tea. So that helped me lose a lot of weight, like 40 pounds.
Well, how do you feel? You've lost this 40 pounds and you've kind of incorporated these changes. How do you feel?
I feel amazing. I have more energy. I'm able to do things that I wasn't able to do before. So I thought maybe because everybody focuses just on exercise and they don't really talk much about the diet per se.
Yeah. So this is what I tell people, because I do have some women that will come to me and say, hey, I want you to train me because I want to lose weight. And I let them know the weight training is not for weight loss. Right. Okay. That's for building, sculpting, strengthening, toning. But if you're looking for weight loss or weight gain in some instances, that's going to come from what you ingest and what you put in your body. 100%.
That's powerful.
Would you say that exercise improves cognitive thinking? Because you seem, just talking to you, you're very sharp. You're on it. It's like boom, boom, pow. Would you agree with that?
This is what I tell people. Your body follows your mind. The quality of your thoughts has everything to do with the result that you'll get. And so you have to think positive. You've got to meditate. You got to surround yourself with positive energy. Everything that you think and that you say about yourself, it will manifest physically. I can tell you 100%. I've been preparing for competitions for, I've been doing this 8-9 years, right? The preps where I was mentally dragging down on myself, it reflected on stage and how I looked. And so the quality of your thoughts 100% affects the way that you're going to look. And so you've got to get that. The mental health is just as important as the physical health, is what I would say.
Love it.
I love that.
Mm-hmm.
So I also want to ask you this. Should people do the protein shakes and substitutes? Because that's something big. I've noticed people get into that while they're working out. Is that necessary?
Not necessary, but it's supplementary. So it just depends. One of the things that I like to do is sit with women and figure out their lifestyle, their schedule. Some people can get in the kitchen and cook every day. Some people cannot. Okay. So if we got to get this protein in, but you're on the go, what can we do? That's where the protein comes in, like the supplements and stuff. But I don't think anything replaces natural whole food that God put on the earth for you. But you have protein shakes there so you can grab and go if you need it.
That's okay, so Kathy Tatum says, hey, Queens, my cellulite wants to give a shout out.
Hi, Kathy.
Let me get on this thing real quick. Okay, this is something that not everybody's going to tell you. The reason women deal with cellulite has more to do with genetic structure than it has to do with what they're doing. So take a man, for example. Have you ever seen a guy overweight with cellulite?
I don't pay attention.
They don't have it.
I haven't seen
wow.
The structure of a man's skin cells are like this, right? The structure of a woman's skin cells are like this, like a basket.
Oh.
So what you're seeing, you're calling it cellulite, is actually fat just coming through these little pockets. But the men don't have them because their skin cells are like this. Does that make sense?
I know that.
Yeah, I'm thinking like back, like
you ain't never seen a man with cellulite.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you have a shout out, Brittany. She says that's my trainer, boss friend.
So when it comes to cellulite, this is what I tell women: like, don't be so hard on yourself, because I know women that are petite with it. Yeah. So it's not a matter of how much you weigh. A lot of that is genetic in the structure of your skin cells. So when it comes to cellulite, yeah, you want to take care of your health internally, but a lot of that is like things you do for your skin, keeping it moisturized, keeping yourself hydrated, keeping the skin cells tight so that those pockets are there.
Oh, okay. That's good information. I would have never known that.
Yeah, but don't beat yourself up about that. Like, I'm telling you, I know people this thin with cellulite. So sometimes it's not something that you're doing, it's genetic, but you do the best you can with what you have. And taking good care of your skin is a big part of that.
So would you suggest like vitamin E oil, coconut oil, because those oils are natural oils that actually get the skin the way it's supposed to be, like in its natural state?
100%. And I like when I'm sending people their nutrition guides, if I see that they have problems with their skin or the skin is dry, I'm sending those recommendations too.
That's 100%. Good.
Because ultimately, I'm noticing a better person, what you see is the skin. Like, I can have muscle, whatever, but when you physically look at me, you see my skin.
Right.
So this is what I have to make sure I take care of what you actually see, and that's where that comes in.
So when you're offering your training, because I know that you're doing training online, right?
Yeah.
And you're also offering meal preps as well.
Mm-hmm.
So with the meal preps, are you showing people how to do it themselves, or are you literally like mailing out the meal preps? How are you doing this?
I try to be one-stop shop. I help some people more than others, but not everybody's at the same place in their journey. So I have had clients where, look, I'm going to prep your meals for a month so you can see what it looks like. Then we kind of walk, crawl, run like that. Some people, I can send them what foods to eat and they got it. Some people, you just have to meet them where they are. And so I have had people where I'm like actually cooking their food. Other people, I just send them a list of things to eat and they can work with that.
Can do it. That's awesome.
That's good.
But what's so important to me is that
go ahead.
It's important for me not to be a crutch for women. Meaning, you come to me, I'm going to give you this knowledge, I'm going to teach you, I'm going to show you, but my ultimate goal is for you to be able to do it by yourself and reteach it. So the teacher
want to do it, right? And want to do it, because if you don't have your mind made up to do it, that you want to get healthy, you want to lose weight, you're not going to do it.
Yeah.
Speaking on that, do you have any recommendations for women who have fupas?
Yeah. Okay. So one thing to recognize, like any extra body fat on your body, right? All that is storage cells of energy that are excess, meaning, hey, my body is, everything I eat gives me energy. If I don't use it, I keep it. If I don't eat it, I keep it. So that's the simplest way to break it down. If you have excess body fat, all it means is you have these cells of stored energy that you haven't used. So the more active you get, you kind of start burning into that, as long as you're not eating in a surplus. That's a simple way. I don't like, and this is something else I tell people, like when it comes to their weight and having body fat, like fat is never something that a person is. It's something that you have. I have eyebrows, but I'm not an eyebrow.
Right. Oh, I love that analogy. Oh my goodness, that is awesome.
Yeah, I have fat, but I'm not fat. It's just something I have. Okay. And if I want to get it off, I can get it off. And that's just a simple way to keep it. You got to keep all this stuff in perspective. I got eyelashes. I'm not an eyelash. You know what I mean? But if I have something excess, what do I have to do to get it off? Tap into that stored energy. And that's all it is.
Period.
You're dynamic, queen.
You know what I
She really is.
That's a completely different perspective. Like, I would have never thought I'm not fat.
You're not.
I have fat. I have eyelashes. I'm not like that puts in perspective for sure.
Keep it in check. Don't let it overwhelm you. It's just something you have. If you don't want it, get it off.
Yes.
If you cool with it, keep it.
Right. I love that.
Yeah.
So also I want to ask you, are there any particular workouts, or I don't know how to really word this, because it's not like you can really well, maybe you can. If a person has a cesarean, right? And they're kind of worried about doing abdominal crunches and things like that to kind of remove that fupa we were talking about earlier. Are there nice, delicate exercises that a female can do to really kind of shape her up? You know? So
one thing you need to understand about the body, especially with the abdominals, you ever heard the saying that abs are made in the kitchen? You don't necessarily have to, everybody has abs. 6-pack, 4-pack, it's there. It's just, under some layers. Okay, it'll be there when you get underneath the layers, but don't feel a pressure to have to train the abs to make them show. I don't care how many crunches you do anyway. If the excess body fat is there, you won't see it. So I would tell a woman, listen to your body. If something doesn't feel right, do not do it. Point blank, period. The abs are there. If you get lean enough, you'll see them anyway. There are actually bodybuilders that compete that do not train their abs because they don't want their waist to get wider. So some people, you see us, we have them, you see them, but we don't actually do the crunches and the sit-ups. I rarely do them.
Learning a lot.
Abdominals is more about the percentage of body fat that you have.
Got it. So what percentage, like for a female, what is recommended to go down to in order to see those abs?
Oh, okay. So this is getting into like super science. Not everybody stores body fat the same way.
Right.
If I look at my mom, when she was my age, I'm shaped just like her, right? But I know girls that got big booties and a tight waist. That's not our thing. Where I store the fat is genetic. And so that part gets a little technical. If you have more body fat on your abdominals than you want, that's, you focus on getting the body fat down until you're happy. But not everybody's going to lose it. I don't really hold fat on my legs, for example. But I know women, that's their trouble area. My abs are my trouble area. It just depends on the person.
Makes sense.
But there's no cookie cutter answer because no two bodies, we're so amazing. Like none of us are the same. Like that's why it's good to work with a trainer that's knowledgeable about the body so I can tailor something to you, to what you think that'll work for you.
Aisya is feeling this.
No, because you're the absolute best trainer I've ever had a conversation with to explain about the body and the trouble areas and how, I've never known that, So the way you're explaining it, you're making it so simple for us to understand it. Oh my goodness. Thank you.
Bodybuilders are not rocket scientists. Okay. Like we gonna keep it real simple.
Exactly.
It gives women confidence to understand, because there's so much pressure in society when it comes to, especially when it comes to women, and it affects our self-esteem. But the way you're explaining it, the way you're giving us information and tips, it's going to automatically allow these women to know it's okay to be who I am, that these are some things that I have. It doesn't define me. And I have never met a trainer that actually works with not only the body and the diet, but you're working with their emotions and their mental health.
It's more important. Because I know women that are like 250 pounds, 300 pounds and got more confidence than me. I could care less about how much you weigh. If you're comfortable, and this is what I tell my women too, like my goal is for you to be comfortable butt naked in your own skin. If you're comfortable, you good with me. If I don't care about the number on the scale, if you don't, but you have to have it in your mind that this is the body I have, this is the one I work on, this is the one I love. Who else are you going to be anyway?
I absolutely adore this. Let me tell you, somebody out there needed to hear this. some woman is out there having low self-confidence because somebody told her that her waist wasn't small enough or her bottom wasn't big enough or firm enough or something. And it's like you come on the show and you just let it out and just say, hey, if you're comfortable with who you are and how you look, that's all that matters. I mean, you know, if people want to get surgery and enhance, that's your business too, but just know it's not necessary. You can build that bottom. That's what Brittany Campbell is here for. So that takes me right into my next question. Can you let us know any projects that you're working on in 2021?
Let's go. Okay, so this one, you know, my first ebook is coming out and I'm super excited. So I'm really passionate about giving it all away. And when I say give it all away, if I've learned it, tried it, and it works, I want to give it back. Okay. Yes. So when I met you, you had your female minority report book. That's where I met you. Yes. And I was like, wait a minute, I'm not doing enough to get it back to people. So I got started on my first ebook, Danielle. I'll talk to you about how to get published on Amazon. So that's the next big change that I have coming out is the ebooks. The first one that'll be released is all about shoulders, but from there I'll go into different body parts, nutrition, and who knows from there, but I'm so excited about it. Like I look at it every day, do a little bit every day. But that's going to be a big change for me, something I have not done. But I'm really, really, really excited about it.
So guys, as soon as it drops, she's going to let us know it's Sisters Talk, and I'll make sure to share the link and everything so you guys can go grab your copies. Get multiple copies, ladies. Now, one big thing I'm big on, especially for our Black community, is health. And, you know, I myself, I'm not perfect. Baby, I had Wingstop earlier today, okay? So, I'm also comfortable in the skin that I'm in. But moving forward, I know that I could do better, you know? Okay. And so I think it's so essential. And thank you so much again for that shout out and knowing that you want to give back to the community because we need to know these things. You know, the Black female goes through a lot of unnecessary changes and gets a lot of early diseases because of the way that we eat. Not just because of stress, it's stress plus the way we're dieting. And so I know that what you're doing is going to be so great for the community. And I thank you.
And another thing I want to say to any, you know, my sisters watching this, like, we're not cursed. Our ethnicity, our race is not a curse. Yeah. It's our superpower. Our habits are what are tearing us up. And so that's where we got to get back to these bad habits that we picked up along the way. But our being Black is my superpower, and I tell everybody it's not a curse to be who you are. I don't believe that we're genetically predisposed to anything. I think we have bad habits that cause problems that run in our families, and so if we can be the change, then we can kind of change that narrative. And so that's what I'm trying to do.
Absolutely,
I love that.
Absolutely love it.
And you know, I have a question for you.
Let's go.
So I know a lot of women don't, especially with us Black women, a lot of things is not good for our bodies based on our genetics, and we just don't know it. So I know for me personally, I didn't know I had a gluten sensitivity. And once I realized and acknowledged that I did have a gluten sensitivity, I was able to finally lose weight and remove gluten from my diet primarily. So perfect. Can you just speak a little bit about gluten and how it affects majority of Black women? We just don't know.
Yeah, so there's tests that you can do, right? But this is one thing, and I'm learning this the older I get, to really listen to my body. Yoga has actually helped me with this tremendously. But even if like my nose is dripping for no reason, or I feel like something ain't right, like you gotta know everything, even acne flare-ups. What is my body trying to tell me? I'm putting something in here that my body doesn't want. And so that's where we got to start getting those tests done. Hey doc, no, I'm not satisfied with this. Like I have phlegm every morning when I wake up. That's not normal. What's wrong? And that's when we can kind of start to figure that stuff out. I do think that as a society, especially here, we've gotten so far away from eating things that were actually intended to be put in our bodies. We're eating out of plants and all these processed foods. None of that was actually what was intended to fuel the body. And so as we get back to the way things were intended to be, I think we'll be healthier overall.
I agree. I agree. Thank you so much for saying that.
Especially getting back to the herbal way, you know, of doing things, you know, more plant-based, you know, you should eat your protein, but add more vegetables. You know, I see some people, including my kids, they just want meat and rice, and it's like you gotta eat the green beans, you gotta eat the squash, mix it up, like.
And I want to
and even
clarify, when you hear plant-based, I think people automatically think vegan.
Yeah.
No, like your body, for example, is mostly carbon, but we're not carbon. Okay. If your diet is mostly plant-based, it doesn't mean you're vegan. It just means that that's the priority in your diet. The meat is like a side where the vegetables are the main course. And I think if we can get to that, God, the effects of that would be profound. So
that's so true. And we can actually start seeing our abs.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
That's true, and I know that too. Miss Shay says, when dieting, is prebiotics and probiotics important?
100%. Now, the reason that it's important to supplement them is because a Western diet, typically, we're just not getting it. And then the way that the foods are processed before they get to us, we're not getting these things. So prebiotics and probiotics are something that I supplement every day and recommend to everybody every day, for sure.
Okay, we have a comment. Brittany, legs are amazing. And I second that. Because, honey, I saw this picture or a video you were doing in Las Vegas. I was like, dang, she is looking like a whole God, just God. I'm not even saying God, it's a whole entire God. I mean, everything about you is so chiseled.
And I wish I could take all the credit, but if you ask my mom, she would tell you they came from her. Like, some of this stuff is genetic. The women in my family, and this is why I love like myself and my body, because it's like the older I get, the more I see my mom, my grandma, my aunts, and I love it. Like, they were stacked, broad shoulders, thick legs, athletic builds, and so I was kind of shunned for that when I was younger, but I love it now. And so the legs, my mom's gonna take the credit. So that's all I got. My mom said I got it. That's all I got.
Every time went to a show, the bodybuilders were fighting over cheesecake. Please explain why before they hit the stage.
A spike in insulin. So there's a couple things you have to understand about a competitor before they go on the stage. They're very depleted of nutrients, food, and water. So what you want to do, so what happens, even your muscles are like 70% water. They hold sugar too. We deplete all of that stuff before we get on stage because we only want to look good for the judges for that one moment. So we pound in rice cakes, peanut butter, cheesecake, whatever. Everybody has their thing, but it just helps to like explode the muscles real quick before we go on stage. That's the easy way.
Wow, that's so awesome.
So we have another question by Keisha. She says, what do you recommend if I'm not a fan of an hour of machine cardio?
HIIT, which is more efficient, meaning I'm going to go really, really fast, slow down. When you're doing HIIT, you only need like 20 minutes. So you're trying to get to like 80% of your maximum heart rate for 1 minute, recover for 2, go back up, come back down, go back up, come back down. You follow that pattern for 20 minutes. It's just as effective as you walking on a treadmill for an hour. So that's what I would recommend anyway.
Oh, okay.
I don't typically tell people an hour on the like a treadmill or something. I don't typically recommend that unless maybe you have an injury or something like that. But I'm like, hit it, bring it down, take it back up, get it done, and go home.
You are giving us some true gems, man. Oh my goodness.
You're going to get even more gems in her copy of her ebook. I can't wait till it drops. I'm
excited. And the cool thing about the ebook is like I'm actually going to be, for anybody that follows me on social media, they're going to see my friends. They're going to see like the people that they know from my Instagram, they're going to see in the ebooks. And so I'm super excited about it.
That is awesome.
That's a nice collab right there.
Oh, yeah.
So you guys, I want to let everybody know to find you on Instagram because you just said it. Make sure you go to her IG, Go Figure Brittany. Now, what made you come up with that name on IG?
So I created that name when I first started competing. I'm a professional bodybuilder, right? But the division that I compete in is figure. And so I was like, Go Figure Brittany. Like, and my name is so common that I can't use my name anywhere. My name is Brittany Campbell. It's taken on everything. So with Go Figure Brittany, I was able to keep everything uniform across the social media platforms.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. You definitely have true dedicated fans because they were blowing up the comment section. Don't get mad at me, guys. I was really into this interview, so I didn't see a lot of the comments. All the questions. Okay, Aisya was like, hey, we got questions. You need to put that on the screen.
Let's go, yeah.
This is awesome. So definitely see some great things in your future. Now, after your ebook, are you expecting to do any more competitions? You're going to keep it going?
Yeah, so I have not been able to compete in Texas in like 6 years. There is a big show coming to the state in August. That may be the first show that I do this year. And from there, we'll start to climb. But I'm actually coming off of a break, which is the first one that I've taken since I've started competing. I just shut it all down and rested. And so I'm really excited. I'm back with my coach. We're back working, and I'll be back in the gym on Monday. So probably August, and it's called the Texas Pro. I think it's going to be in Dallas. So
nice.
That's awesome. So I have a question.
Okay.
Do you have any suggestions for people who have who may be vegan or who may want to go vegetarian and transition to vegan? Do you have any recommendations for protein for them? Because some people are allergic to tree nuts.
Okay, yeah. So there's a misconception about, I'm not sold that the human body needs as much protein as we're being told. And the reason I'm saying that from personal experience is because I've gone weeks without meat, where I've done like vegan Monday through Friday. So I've played with like cycling how much protein I take in, and every day of the week I'm good to go. So let's start there. I don't believe that the human body requires the amount of protein that people think, especially if you're not trying to be bigger. Okay. So I'm not talking about the guys, the mass monsters. They got to do what they got to do. But we're talking about women in overall health. We do not require the amount of protein that we're being told. This 1 gram per pound. If you don't do that, you can still look good. I have vegan clients. That's how I know. And I've tried it myself. So when it comes to protein, just know that you're going to get it. There's protein in all your plant sources for the most part. It's not as direct. It's a more complicated process to break it down, but it's there. You got it, So like I said, I have clients that are vegan. I know bodybuilders that are vegan, and they look amazing. Chia seeds, let's do it. Yes.
Yeah. I tried chia seeds, but they didn't work so well for me. My digestive system, it didn't like it.
But this goes back to that's your body. You gotta listen to yours. If you know you did something, hey, she said this, it didn't agree with me, don't do it.
Yeah.
We on to the next idea. Like, I'm not quick with it. And I do not condone like force feeding something into your body that you don't like or you don't agree with. Don't do it.
That's awesome, because I've never heard anyone say that before. They're like, you gotta have your protein.
Right? They're screaming at you, you're crying. Get on the board, do 100 more. I mean, that's what we think about when we think about trainers. But then we have you. We have Miss Brittany, who's so eloquent and so direct and knowledgeable about her field. So you're only going to get that here at the Sisters Talk podcast. So make sure you let her know that you found out about her ebook, her training program through Sisters Talk podcast. Just saying. So, Brittany, do you have any final shout outs or bolts of advice for the audience that's listening tonight?
Oh, I could. Okay, I didn't think this part through in the beginning, but as far as shout outs go, there are some people that I definitely want to thank. First, I need to start with my line sister, Keisha, who I've been staying with for the past week. Thank you. But I have gotten so many messages from people like, hey, Brittany, you good? You need this? You want to come over? Like, I've been so fortunate and blessed throughout this whole thing. My gym, the Phil House gym in Texas, my coach, Joseph Cortez, Jody Sturgeon, she makes these beautiful suits for me. My church, Destiny, where I already said I have the best parents in the world, the best friends. I feel so spoiled. Like, I can go on with this list all day. And of course, I want to thank you all for being here. I want to thank my boss friends. I got a few really, really close girlfriends, and like, they don't miss, they don't play, like, they the truth. So when people were like, hey, Brittany, you good? I was like, trust me, I'm good. You don't know my friends. Like, I'm good. And so anybody that, and even just people, like, sometimes I get these random messages from people that I don't even know. And you'd be amazed at how the smallest words of kindness affect me. Like, you don't know what I'll be going through when you say, hey, Brittany, good job. I appreciate it. I read them all. I try to respond to everybody. I really, really love all the positive feedback that I get from people. If I had words to give to anybody, it's kind of like what we were saying, like learn to love yourself where you are, right? The more you love and cherish yourself, the better job you'll do of taking care of yourself. And I think about it like this, like I got 2 cars, right? I got a 1994 Honda and I got like a newer BMW. I take better care of the BMW because that's my like, if you really value yourself and cherish yourself and you love yourself, you'll do a better job with yourself. So start right there. Like wherever you are, love it. So you take better care of it from there.
There you go. I love that.
Goodness.
Self-love is the best love. We always talk about that on the Sisters Talk podcast. And ladies, don't get down about how you look. Just start making the improvements day by day by checking what you're eating. Write it down if you need to. Make yourself a message on your cell phone. If you ate Wingstop 3 times in 1 week, you might want to change that up. And I love it. But you do it 3 times a week, that's way too much. Let's see if we have any more comments here. I'm in Harker Heights. Do you plan on doing any boot camps?
Hey Shay, that's a good question. Okay, so there are trainers at the Fieldhouse Gym that do boot camp training. This is what I believe, that to be really effective with a person, I like to be like more one-on-one. Now, I do believe in getting the information out there. So something that I would like to create is maybe like, not like a curriculum, but like a course you could go through, but I'm not necessarily a boot camp instructor. Okay. I think boot camps have their place and they're great for getting people out and getting active. But you understand, like I'm a teacher and I'm going to sit down with you, make sure you get it. I want to review stuff with you. And I can't do that necessarily in a group setting. So boot camps are great, but I'm not a boot camp instructor.
Sorry, Shay, but that's okay.
You're amazing.
There are boot camps, and I do encourage them. I think they're great. We got some really good trainers at the Fieldhouse for sure.
Nice.
I'm so glad that we had you. I'm so glad we had you on the show because you bring a completely different perspective from the fitness side, and you're more about the wholeness of the individual, the well-roundness of the individual. Mm-hmm. And most trainers are only focused on primarily the body and maybe diet. Mm-hmm. But you're, oh my goodness, you are phenomenal.
The truth.
Thank you.
Yes.
Definitely. So if there's not any more questions, guys, we want to thank our audience for tuning in tonight. I want to apologize for my little rant at the beginning, but I said what I said. So make sure you go check out Miss Brittany Campbell. You can find her on Instagram at Go Figure Brittany. Make sure you check her out because she's going to have an ebook that's going to be releasing very soon. So you want to keep your eye out on that. If you, for some reason, couldn't remember the IG, just inbox me. I'll be happy to share that information with you. And one more comment. That's good. I need teaching too. Thank you. So you already got a client. Look at that. I'm pretty sure you have more. So guys, the people that are watching, make sure you like, comment, share, because you want your friend, your boss friend, and your trainer to get more clients and also to share the knowledge that she has with other men and women. Now, do you train men as well?
I do. Now, that has been an interesting turn in events. Like this year, it's weird. It's like I have more male clients than the male trainers. I don't know how that shift happened, but I will tell you, training men is fun for me because I don't hold back. Like I ain't got no mercy. It's a lot more work on me, but I really, really enjoy it. And one thing I would say, like the fundamentals of bodybuilding are the same. Women, young, olds, the fundamentals are the same. And so I really do enjoy training the men. And so I actually have quite a few right now, which I'm not used to, but I really like it.
Cool. Interesting that I even asked. There's a few things I learned today. One, you don't need to be doing crunches to get your abs. It's just all about diet first, and then the second thing is understanding the patterns of men's skin versus a woman's skin. I never knew that. So that really explains the whole phenomenon. I didn't even realize men didn't have cellulite. Never even thought about that until you asked that question.
Yeah.
So you learn something new every day.
Mm-hmm.
Well, as always, guys, for everybody that's tuning in, Aisya and I will see you on Sunday. We'll have the legendary Jane Elliott. We'll be talking about the importance of diversity, especially for Black History Month. We couldn't go without getting her on the show. So all praises to the Most High for that one, because I was really shocked that she responded. I'm not gonna lie. So thank you, universe, for allowing her to come onto the Sister Talk podcast. Thank you, Brittany, for sharing some of your time with us during these hard times in the state of Texas. But I'm wishing all the best for you and your family. I know you'll be fine. You have amazing support. And Miss Kathy Tatum says, great show. Thank you, Miss Kathy. Good try.
And let's not forget tomorrow, Danielle. Tomorrow we're doing a book tour.
Oh yeah, let's not forget that. God, so much going on.
Tomorrow we're doing a book
I didn't
tour.
forget.
Yeah, so tomorrow. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead. I have a lag on my computer because of everything that's going on. But keep going.
So tomorrow we're doing a book tour from 11 a.m. Central Standard Time to 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. And you do not want to miss it. Trust me.
Yes, a lot of different authors. They have their books, different perspectives. It's just interesting. And also, again, in honor of Black History Month, we have so much to be proud of. So tune in, guys, tomorrow, 11 a.m. until 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. All right, guys, I have one more comment. Let's see what I'm missing here before we go. Oh, it's nobody. Okay, it's nothing. All right, guys, so thank you so much for tuning into the Sisters Talk podcast. We'll see you tomorrow and again on Sunday, guys. Bye.
All right, bye, y'all. Thank you.